Hi, it's Tziporah here. Today I'm talking about why is it hard to heal and overcome BPD, or why might a BPD person avoid seeking the healing. So I'm going to touch on a few things. There is a human nature to avoid pain and seek pleasure. There could be abandonment issues involved. There could be fear and shame, which prevent seeking healing, as well as I'm going to touch on how to overcome these obstacles. So in regards to the pain avoidance, we naturally want to avoid pain, of course. So this means we avoid all the pain that's happened to us throughout life that's accumulated, as well as current pain. And we've also learned unhealthy coping mechanisms to avoid this pain, and these are hard to unlearn. When it comes to pleasure seeking, there's no frame of reference to what is a more pleasurable, happy, healthy life. So it's like, how do I seek pleasure from this healing process? It looks just scary to me. So there's nothing to kind of refer to of what is going to be better. These learned coping mechanisms that we've developed and taken on over time become habits, even comfortable, even pleasurable. There's comfort in knowing what's going to happen, familiarity. So even if it's just what to expect, meaning expecting the worst, that's almost like a comfort versus this unknown of what's on the other side, what's different than this. So this seeking pleasure, it's hard to seek pleasure in the healing process. So it's easy to kind of like stay where you are. So as I mentioned, there are some strong emotions that can prevent seeking healing for BPD. One of them being fear. So fear of the unknown. There's lots of questions, fear-based questions. Who am I? What am I going to be like? Is there even something I can try to achieve? This unstable sense of self, unstable identity and self-image, it's very hard to know who you are or what you're trying to achieve because there's almost nothing to try to grab onto, and that is very scary. There's lots of questions. Can I even get better? Am I too far gone? Is it worth even trying? It's very overwhelming. There's the fear of abandonment, as I mentioned, and it's like as if I admit that I'm bad or I need help, then those people that I have around me will leave me. There's proof on the table now. My partner will leave me, my friends will leave me, and so on. And I just want to reassure you that a genuinely supportive person will not have a more of a reason to leave you if you seek healing. Basically, if BPD is already affecting your relationships, admitting that it is or trying to get help isn't going to be the deal breaker that makes someone leave you, even though it's so scary and it feels like it could be. Another strong emotion is guilt and shame. Often a BPD person has core shame, which means that shame is a huge emotion that we operate from. And there's an inner critical voice that tells you that you're a bad person, you're hopeless, you'll never get better. And it almost gets proven every time an episode happens or a struggle occurs. And even if you're making progress and something happens, it feels so overwhelming that it puts that message right back in your head, like it's not worth it. You get frustrated with yourself, angry, and so on. So this guilt and shame really prevents that seeking healing. Even thinking about recovery or trying to heal can cause this shameful self-attack because it is just so overwhelming. There's a subtle message of going against the internal parents. It's a subconscious message. So the inner voice of the parents that have basically programmed the system that you're a bad child, you're a bad object, so on, becomes I'm a bad person, I don't deserve to heal, this is just the way I am, this is how I was treated, so I don't deserve better. Emotional neglect or abuse from childhood causes a deep feeling of shame and unworthiness or inability to feel like you deserve to get better. So how to overcome all of these struggles that prevent you from wanting to heal BPD? There is no set in stone better when it comes to healing. So you don't have to try to be someone else or set these huge expectations on yourself. You just have to remember that there's a goal of emotion regulation, self-awareness, and continuing to move forward to establish a healthier relationship with the self, others, and life. So be gentle on yourself. Emotion skills, inner child work, trauma work, and unlearning the unhealthy habits is all part of the process. And in regards to this deeper work for healing, you only have to go so far as needed to address the issues that are affecting you. So you don't have to go open up boxes or wounds that don't need to be opened. Detailed, gruesome trauma doesn't need to be brought out. You don't have to re-traumatize yourself in healing. You just have to go to the places that you need to go to in order to heal, and that can be done in a safe way. So emotional intelligence, emotion regulation, and reducing shame are all part of the healing process. And I just want to encourage you and remind you that healing takes time. It's not linear. There's no people to compare it to. It's only for yourself. So just keep moving forward, be gentle to yourself, and know that you can feel good and get better.